Sled Dog to the Rescue. Written by M. Above. Illustrated by Johnny Orban. Focus question. What lesson did Sled Dog's team teach us? A terrible disease. In January 1925, Sled Dog teams raced in a blizzard through the wilderness of Alaska. They battled through the heavy snow and icy winds to save children's life. It all started when the terrible disease spread through the town of Nome, Alaska. The children became very sick and needed medicine right away. The medicine that could save the children was on George, almost 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers away. The medicine could be delivered part of the way to Nenana by train. Even so, it was 674 miles, 1,885 kilometers from the last train stop to Nome. Back then, sled dogs were used to deliver goods in the snow. It was clear that the sled dogs were the best way to deliver the medicines. However, the distance was too far for one sled dog team. A relay has the only hope. The Great Sled Dogs Relay. More than 220 tops mushers and 150 dogs were set to take part in the relay. Mushers will hand off the medicine to the next team at the different posts along the way. On January 27, the medicines arrived by train where the first sled dogs team waited. The package warped in a heavy fur to keep the medicine from freezing when it was handed off. The race to Nome was on. The dogs battled through rough wilderness in the bitter cold. The medicine was passed from the team to team. Many times, the mushers had to stop to warm the medicines by a fire. Some of the dogs did not survive in the journey. One of the teams, driven by the famous musher, Leo and her horse Sepp Pala, covered the most dangerous part of the race. The temperature had fallen to -85 degrees Fahrenheit, -65 degrees Celsius. Seppala's lead dogs were 12 years old, Siberian husky named Togo. To save time, Togo and his teammates raced over an area of frozen seas in the darkness. The next day, they struggled up snow-packed mountain. They traveled an amazing 91 miles, 146 kilometers, more than any other team. The dogs deliver. The sled dogs team continued their difficult journey. Gunnar Carson and his lead Siberian husky, Balto, left on the second to last leg. They raced through a terrible blizzard. Balto led the team through out conditions. At one point, a powerful gust of wind flipped the sled over. The medicine fell into the snow. With frostbitten hand, Carson found the medicines. When Carson arrived at the hand of the point, the next team was not ready to leave. Kazan decided to continue on to the known himself. Just before dawn on February 2nd, Balto and his teammate arrived in the Nome. The journey took only 5.5 days. The medicine saved the 6 children and stopped the spread of the disease. After the race, years after the race, Stepalal took his dogs, including Togo, on a tour across the United States. They drew large crowds. He was one of the first to bring the Siberian Husky breed to other parts of the country. That same year, a statue of Balto was built in New York City. Balto and some of his teammates were in a dog show that toured the United States. However, they were not treated well and were kept in a small cage. People gave money to bring the dogs to Cleveland, Ohio, where the dogs were welcomed in the parade. They stayed in the Cleveland Zoo for the rest of their life. To this day, Balto remains famous for his bravery. However, every sled dogs that on that journey helped save the 6 children when there was a little hope left. Connections. Writing. Do you think the sled dogs and their drivers are heroes? Write a paragraph that explains why or why not. Use details from the bird in your answer. Social studies. Draw a state of Alaska. Label at least 5 important landmarks.